what happened.
Okay, you want to take notes?
So from the beginning to the end, I want to take notes.
I almost expected that this would happen. Because of the OP75, he's mad about that. So he wants to take his frustrations out on me. Right? And the funny thing was, you said you wanted to talk to me, right? He didn't have to do what he did. Because,
OP what?
well, yesterday I filled out my retention right form for basketball. And you told me he was upset about that. And that we had to talk.
Okay, it was about something else. I didn't say...
But that was the only thing I left in his mailbox. You said we have to talk about the mailbox. And I left my OP75 form in the mailbox to retention rights. That's what you said this morning.
OP175.
My OP175 form. And I was going to talk to you about it. I didn't want to cause alarm for him. I mean, I know he doesn't want me in the school anymore. And we talked about this. The only reason I filled out that form, David, was because in the matter that I cannot find another job, which I'm looking. I can show you my emails. I've applied for over 12 positions. I'm sticking to my word that he wasn't going to bother me or harass me or do anything to agitate me, because you know the history there. So you told me that this morning. He was mad about...
What were the two things that you agreed with him?
What do you mean?
When we agreed to the...
I said, well, that's the thing. When you said, we called the meeting and said, Evan feels that we have differences that are irreconcilable, right? And that we were going to stay out of each other's way, and that he wasn't going to harass me or bother me or curse me or do anything unprofessional. And I said, okay, even though that I feel that those are things he shouldn't do anyway, I said, hey, that's fair enough because of the way he's been acting the last 3 years. So I said that I would actively pursue another position when the open market comes to ameliorate everything, which I have been doing in good faith. And then yesterday with the OP175 form, only reason I filled it out is just in case I cannot find a job, which I have the right to that job if I can't find another job. I think that he interpreted me filling out that form as me saying that I'm breaking whatever agreement we made. And that's wrong, because if I show you, I'll print out all my emails. I've applied to 12 different schools because he's made it so obvious that he doesn't like me, he hates me, he doesn't want me here, and I understand that. I don't want to be somewhere where I'm hated, David. And today he came into my lesson, and I was not rude to him. He barged into my door, okay? The kids are still coming in. They're not even ready for the lesson. They're still getting changed. I'm sitting down and marking they're coming in. He barges in, and he says to me, give me your lesson plan, hovering over me, looming in an intimidating fashion. I said to him, Dan, I have filled out paperwork for the last 3 years that if for any formal observations, I would like the courtesy of having a pre-conference observation regarding each specific lesson. Okay? I filed that with Eric Cohn, and I filed that with LaToya Martin, both chapter leaders. I do not feel that requesting that is unprofessional. Okay? Now at that time, and I said to him, is this a formal observation then? Because if it's informal and he just wants to watch me teach, then he has the right to be there. If it's formal, which he said, no, I'm doing the formal observation, I said, well, you should have at least notified me ahead of time so that we can talk about pedagogy, about what you want to see in the lesson, about what I need to work on. And he hasn't observed me in 5 or 6 months. So I thought a pre-conference would have been at least a sign of good faith that he wants to improve my pedagogy. This just looks like he showed up to harass me and bother me, to get me agitated, and try to get me in trouble because I filled out an OP175 form. David, this is not the way people behave. It's not. You've observed me before. Have I had a problem with you? No. I provide lesson plans to my administrators, but they don't have to ask for them. I have them and I give them. No problems.
So you gave him your lesson?
Well, I said to him, he said, first of all, I'm about to start my class. So now we're at a crossroads because basically I'm telling him, really, to do this officially and to do this by the book, you should have notified me. If he was going to do an informal observation, that's fine. He has the right to be there. But he told me, pulls out his computer, which usually means he's typing up and making it formal, which he said he was doing. He said, I'm doing a formal observation. So I said, formal with no pre-conference. I said, I request that. That is my right. That is my right. So then after that, he says, well, tough, I'm staying, whatever. I said, all right, I have no problem. I'm going to teach. I go do my lesson, all right? I had the kids warm up. I gave a good lesson. I gave him my lesson plan, all right? I gave him the lesson plan. I went through my lesson, all right? I had all the kids work in groups. The kids were engaged. I did a lecture. I did a demonstration. I did a medial summary. I did a final summary. I did everything by the book. Everything that he's always asked of me to do as a teacher and more. I made sure the kids cleaned up when they were done. They cooled down. It was a good lesson. There's no reason, and he's mad at me. He's probably going to U-rate me because he's mad at me. And you said before, he's calling for my immediate termination. I gave a good lesson. I don't feel that he wants to see me 8th period. I don't feel he's going to give me a fair rating. And I feel that, and then after the lesson, when the kids were leaving, during the lesson, he was talking to all my students, asking them questions about me, not about the lesson, asking them questions about me as a teacher, not about the lesson of the day.
What type of questions did he ask?
I don't know, because the student said to me after, why was he asking me the question? And I said, I don't want to know. I said, I didn't even ask.
How do you know from the students?
Because they told me, the students were concerned. They said, why is that man in the room acting like this? Because he was being unprofessional. They said that to me.
Okay, because I need to know.
He
was asking questions about
He was walking around the room with his laptop during the lesson while the kids were doing activity, and he was asking them questions about me, not the lesson.
But how do you know it's about
Because
you?
the kids said, they were like, why was he asking all those questions about you? And I said, I didn't even ask them. I just said,
Okay, kids said.
yeah. And then when we left the room, he lingered around, all right? I dismissed all the students, and he made sure that he was the last one out. And when the kids left, then he starts yelling and screaming at me, right? That I should not talk to him like that, and that he has a right to observe me whenever he wants, no matter what, anytime he wants. And I said, maybe you feel that way. Maybe you feel that way. But in where I come from, and when people act professional, you give notice because it's the nice thing to do, and it's also the right thing to do by law. When you've asked to observe me, I said, I believe that you can be fair and objective. I said, you may come observe me whenever you want, Mr. Jimenez. I've said that to you. With him, I don't feel that that's the case, so I, to protect myself, have put in, and I've done this for 3 years, that I want pre-conference for each lesson, so there are no mix-ups, there are no surprises, and he gets to see how I'm developing as a teacher. This was not based on instruction. He came in to bother me because of the form. I know it. That's what it is, Dave.
Okay. So.
And let me finish. So we're outside, and I said,
You believe that he's doing this because you broke your part of the bargain with him?
or just because he feels like it, which he has done in the past. And the problem is when we were leaving.
After you made the deal with him.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. The deal was that I would actively look for a position, and if I was accepted or interviewed, I would take it if provided that it's conducive to yeah. And yeah, but I never did anything to him.
It was unconditional.
But you have to understand something. There are variables. I'm in acting in good faith. And if you don't believe me, I promise you, I will print out all the emails because they always send me a receipt every time I apply for a position. I've applied for at least 10 positions thus far, and I've reached out to my entire network of people to try and get a transfer, Dave. All right? The only reason I put the form in is just in case. You know how it is out there. There's a freeze. The open market is not always open. People hold positions for their friends.
No one has a budget.
And I'm not trying to make waves.
Until principals don't know what they
Exactly.
They don't have a budget.
Exactly. So, you know, I've told you many
I
times.
don't know if I have to access yet or if I have to hire.
I understand.
I really don't know that.
I know.
Because I don't have a budget.
I know.
And I don't have a budget.
And-
I don't know what my
And there are 500 other principals in the same position. So you have to understand something. Put yourself in my shoes. I have this history with him, of him always coming to bother me. All right? There's a long history. It's a document. You don't even have to go there. Then, on top of it, I'm working a full-time job for you, and I'm doing a good job. I don't think you've ever had a problem with my job performance, correct?
You're saying, he said that you screamed at him.
No, I didn't scream at him. He was arguing with me. No, we had an animated conversation.
You were
And
demanding that he leave the room.
no, I did not demand that he leave the room. You can question all my students. I did not demand that he leave the room. I only said to him,
And you tell your students, see, he's harassing.
no, because he was harassing me. And I said, at this point, because he followed me. And you can look the cameras, watch the cameras. When we leave the room and we're dismissed, he should have walked the other way. There's no reason to follow me. I'm walking away. We had a discussion. He follows me. And he's still chirping in my ear about how I'm unprofessional and all these things, telling me that I pointed at him. I didn't point at him. I talked with my hands. I did not point at him. I was talking like the way I'm gesturing. He says that I said, I'm not. I said, I put my hands behind my back. I don't want him. I'm not doing anything threatening. All I said to him was that I would prefer that you follow the union regulation of doing a pre-conference and doing things by the book instead of getting mad and acting emotionally.
Right now, he's right looking at the cameras to show them.
Yeah.
Get on
Yeah,
the camera.
well, it's fine. He can go get it on the cameras, but I was not threatening him. You can ask my students, was Mr. Decruz acting in a threatening way? They will not say that I was. And then then he starts yelling at me, telling me, oh, I can do whatever I want, you know, you don't tell me what to do, all right? Then he's staring at me, and then I said, excuse me, I have to go open up the locker room for the students. He still follows me into the locker room, and you'll see that on the cameras, that he followed me into the locker room. And then at that point, I'm opening the door, and he's still talking to me in front of 25 students. And then I said, listen, all right, it's over. I'll go see you 8th period. Leave me alone. And he kept going on and on. And then I just said to him, all right, now it's at the point you're harassing me, because I got my back turned to you. I'm trying to finish up my lesson, and you won't stop. And I said, they're the witnesses. They've seen this now, because he's talking to me to my back. This was in the hallway, in front of the locker room. And you'll see that all the kids gathered around, and you'll see that he was following me. And that indicates that I was being harassed, because he followed me after that lesson. He could have just walked the other way, went up to his office, and given me the U like he wants to do. Everybody knows that, but he didn't do that. That's not good enough for him. He wants to keep digging. He wants to get a rise out of me. He wants me to do something that he thinks that he can nail me for. And that's the reason why I don't want to be here.
So he wants, this is how you feel.
It's been like that for 2.5 years, Dave. And I've tried everything with him. You know that I've tried.
He feels you do want to be here.
We've talked. Me and you have talked, okay? Me and you have a very good professional relationship. You know I have a lot of respect for you. I don't go against you no matter what. Even after the tenure thing, I was not mad at you. I wasn't. I was not mad at you over the tenure thing. I really believe that you wanted to give it to me. I know there are other things going on in the city. I don't harbor any ill will towards you. Despite that, you know that this is my first teaching position. You know that I'm passionate about what I do. The students here and the faculty and the people that I work with, the parents in the community, they like me. I don't. Despite the fact that there are thousands of people here that want me here, that I want to be here, as I've told you, I'd be willing to go on the open market and do my best to leave, despite that. And on top of all this...
Well, open market is to get a job during the day.
Yeah.
You're also working with him at the coaching level.
Not really. Not really. He's very, very hands-off when it comes to athletic director.
Yeah, but he wants to be hands-on, and he's trying to be, according to him, hands-off with you, because he says you're always thinking this is what he's saying. I'm not saying
yeah, that's fine.
That you're always saying things like, anytime you touch the instruction, or anything, he's harassing you.
That's not true. That's not true. We've actually. Well, listen.
The reason he's hands-off and he's not an active AD with you. No,
he's very active. I've been investigated many times because of him. I wouldn't call that hands-off now, would you, David? I've been maliciously investigated by him. Maliciously investigated by him. Where you know this. I don't even want to.
That's what I'm saying. Is why then would you want? You told him that you were.
I didn't say I want to quit. I never told you I wanted to quit. I said, listen, I said to him, well, look, okay, despite, if you want to look at this in black and white, it's not black and white. There's gray area here. First of all,
you realize, this is what happened. I'm being bluntly honest. You realize, oh, I'm not getting another coaching job anywhere else. They're hard.
No. That's not what happened, but continue.
But you told me you were coach. I remember. No.
You're right. Well, this is the thing. All right, fine. But let me. All right, let's.
And then now you file this thing.
Well, here's the thing. All right. Regardless of what I said, all right. I admit I did say that, and I did also say to you that I would like to segue the next coach into the position so it's not a weird thing where the kids don't say, where's me? I was not planning on making any waves at all. But if I can't find another job teaching or coach, and you've said to me, you understand my value to the school. You don't have a problem with me. If this was not an issue, you would be fine with me remaining here, correct? To assume that?
I would say.
You would say so, right? So my whole thing is, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. If he was to go become a principal of another school, why should I lose my coaching job if he's really the reason why I want to leave, right? Which is also a possibility. But he sees me fill out a form. Yes, but he sees an OP 175 form, loses his marbles, and then comes to harass me. How do you have someone like that work for you, Dave? That's ridiculous. And it's my right. It's my right to fill out the OP 175.
That's true.
And it's also my right to resign if things work out outside the school, which I swear on my life I will show you.
That's true, but you know,
Things change is what I'm saying.
it's true. I can't say there's a connection between him going to observe you and this,
I know it. I know it.
but
We know it. I know it. You got to know it.
I can see him feeling betrayed.
Betrayed how? It's a form. Because a piece of paper makes him feel betrayed?
No,
A piece of paper?
You made a gentleman's deal. And, you know, I've heard him say many times that he would never go back on a gentleman's deal.
Okay, all right. A gentleman's deal is fine. And I don't have plans to break that. All right, do you know what? Would it make you feel better if I printed out all the different jobs that I've applied to thus far and you showed it to him? Even though that's my private information, I will relinquish it to you to make him understand.
I know Ben, and he's big with this thing. I think it's a family tradition thing. And he still believes, you know, it was like he made a gentleman's deal with somebody else that cost him.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, look, I made the deal, it's cost me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I lived up to it because my word is...
You're bound, of course. But you know what?
But
He's gone back on things too. He's gone back on everything.
He said, this guy will deal with me. And, you
Go
know,
on.
to buy time. And
It wasn't to buy time. It was.
But
But
that's
listen,
that's
David, you have to understand something. All right, this
So
is where I'm having difficulty.
He said he went into meal lessons. It was clearly unsatisfactory that you had very little, even...
When, today?
No, this was a while back. And he said, because you made that gentleman's deal, he didn't even write it up. He said because he had to keep his word.
I don't really remember that. I remember one time he told me when
He feels betrayed right now. He feels, you know,
he feels betrayed. He feels betrayed. He feels betrayed. Are you serious, David? Are you serious? I've wronged him.
I haven't talked to him about this yet. But, you know,
But this is the deal. I'm telling you that I'm making moves to move on. All right? But you also have to have your backup plan. All right, let me ask you something. What would happen if I applied for every job on the open market, I go on my interviews, nobody wants to hire me, it's rating day. Are you going to U-rate me? Are you going to fire me?
well,
Just be honest.
let's deal with today.
I'm just saying. But that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so fine. You felt you had to break your word this time.
Not break my word. I filled out a form as a backup plan in case I get stuck here.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that. And you know what? When you came to me in the morning and said we have to talk, I would have loved to have come talk to you, but I teach first, second, and third.
As of today, things have gotten very complicated.
But if you would have talked to me prior to that, this would have never happened. And that's what happens because he's a hothead, he gets angry, he acts on his emotion, and he does things that are unprofessional that make you look bad.
Well,
Yes, it makes you look bad when you have assistant principals that go to do observations with a specific mentality of what they're going to do before they go in. Yeah, that's what he can say. But then you know what? He can U-rate me, and I'm untenured, and I'm unprotected. And we talked, and I'm...
But see, I think in your head, you know that you went back on your word.
No,
I'm just being blunt, but let me finish.
If I went back on my word...
I'm just being blunt. You went back on your word, you said, I'm going to quit, I'm going to give a letter of resignation, you never gave me the letter, but you put in for the job because it's your right. Regardless of the circumstances.
But does that mean that I'm not going? Does that mean that I'm not going to tender the letter?
Forget.
David, does that mean I'm not going to tender the letter of resignation?
Okay, forget whatever. Let's look at it this one. So you made a gentleman's deal. You know, he had.
I made the deal with you.
I
didn't make the deal with him. I made it with you, and you brought him into the loop. But you know that I'm not going back on it.
He thinks that you're doing fast.
Tell him.
And
Can I go on my email? Can I show you?
No, I believe you. I believe you.
You promised me? Okay. Thank you.
I believe you. And
but there was never a trust factor.
he feels a man's word is meant to, no matter the cost.
Oh, he feels that way, but you worked with him. How many times does he go back on his word? How many times?
I don't know that at all.
Okay, when he started here as a teacher, okay, when we were in the gym, he would do things like free play and let the kids do free play, right? He would let the kids play. Then he becomes an assistant principal, and then he outlaws it. That's hypocritical. So it's okay for him to do it, but when another teacher wants to do it, they get you rated.
No, but I don't know.
Him going, his word?
I don't know.
His word? His word. All right, you want to hear him going back on his word? These are conversations that you don't know about because he pulled me in there in private, which should have never happened because the first time me and him had an out, there always had to be some...
Actually, I've known him actually to mark because he gave his word.
Well, I'll give you another example of him giving his word. Do you remember when I was served the extension documents for my probation? Do you remember that? Now, he was the one who served those documents, okay? Prior to that, when he did an observation of me, you know what he said to me? He says, "You're my teacher. It's my job to make sure that you get your tenure. I want you to get your tenure." And this is after you told me he wanted me to transfer out.
But maybe he changed his mind and wanted to.
Okay, so a month prior to that?
He was very happy with you. I was always checking up on him. How are you ever doing? Oh, doing great.
Yeah, but
every time he was telling me, I think everyone's going the right path. He seems to be doing his job. He seems to be living up to his end of the bargain. I'm seeing a different Evan. You know, it seems like this. But I think by you, maybe you should have had a conversation with him.
But we agreed not to talk because at any time it's volatile.
Come to me.
But I did.
Somehow.
But you said to me, "We have to talk," and I said, "No, Dave's straight. I'm gonna go talk to Dave." I know.
He did tell me.
He shouldn't have did what he did today. Uncalled for, unprofessional.
You put the thing in his mailbox.
Yeah. So what? What's wrong with that? It doesn't matter.
But
that doesn't mean I'm keeping the job. It doesn't mean anything. It's a piece of paper.
Wow.
Dave, if I get a position in another school, I'm going to resign. Simple as that. And I'm trying my best. If you don't believe me, I'll print out all my emails.
But you know what? He's willing. He says, okay, this is his point of view. And I haven't spoken to him yet. But I can see him taking this. Okay, apparently, he's broken the deal for whatever.
That's not breaking the deal. The deal was that I would actively. That's not breaking the deal. What does he want me to do? He wants me to transfer like that? Has he ever done it? Do you think it's that easy to just up and transfer and then who knows where you're going? Who knows where you're going? I should have been here for 3.5 years. I should go to some failing school that's going to get phased out when I'm up for tenure again in a year. He doesn't know what it's like to be in my position. That's not right. That's not right. And we've had many conversations. I feel that I've earned my tenure. I feel that I've earned it. Now, regardless, I didn't get it, fine. There's politics. There's things going on. I could do it. The whole point of me getting tenure, I never looked at it as lifetime employment. Me and you had conversations about how tenure can be an issue. I said, the only thing that tenure does is it protects teachers and gives them a due process. That's all that it does. And with the way things are with him, I'm the one who needs a due process. Well, almost, but... But when we're talking about issues like this, him not abiding by a pre-conference, things like that, those are rights. Those are rights. I didn't invent them. Those are things that he's supposed to follow. Those are regulated things. And as an untenured teacher, now I have less protection. And now he's violating my rights. It's because I'm vulnerable. He's doing it because I'm vulnerable. But he came and he did it formal. And he was there with his computer and it was a formal observation. And if he tells you anything else, it's a lie. It's a lie. Because his informal observations, he doesn't stay the whole period. He pulled out his laptop, asked for a lesson plan. He doesn't do that on informal observations. And to boot, the whole year, I don't think he's ever done an informal observation of me. Ever. He did maybe 3 observations or 4 in the fall. He doesn't do informals. So all of a sudden now he wants to do an informal observation on May 9th. Come on, David, be fair. This is ridiculous. He's a baby. He's being a baby. If you would have called, listen, it's 4th period now, right? You said, we got to talk. And I said, when? I said, when, right? That's the first thing I said, when, right? And if you would have said, come see me 4th, I would have explained, you said, okay, the issues with the form, he thinks you're going, I would tell you the same thing I'm telling you now.
Let me have this with that record. It's causing me another reaction.
Yeah.
That's why I look for it. That's not because of you. This must be more than that.
Yeah.
It's getting me sick.
Hello?
Denise, I need Frankie to go move this radio.
To go move the radio? Sure. Okay.
And put it in the vault in the corner somewhere. Cost me an allergic reaction.
Okay, thanks. I will. Bye.
Okay.
Look, I know. I'm sorry, Dave. I don't mean to give you headaches. I try to stay away from him. I don't talk to him. I just come to do my job. I've been just wanting to get out of here. I've been doing everything I can.
If things are so difficult, we should transition this maybe. This whole, you reapplying there. You know.
But that's the other thing you have to consider. The other thing is, I've been doing that job for 3 years. Do you have a problem with the way I've done my job? I'm a winner, man. I bring you all the winning teams. My girls are great. They don't disrespect anyone. They're well behaved, all right? I also do the softball team. And that's the other thing he doesn't consider. I have to leave a learning community that I've been in for 3.5 years, where people care about me. The students care about me. They come and they heard, not from me, but they've heard, and they say, are you really leaving? You know how many times I hear that a day, Dave? Do you know what that feels like when you have to tell someone that you love these kids, you work with them, you teach them life, you teach them skills, you teach them about everything. And in a lot of ways, we're role models. We're like father figures to a lot of them.
What happened between you and him? You were so close. I find this is like a case study.
I'll tell you what happened. Last year, when you called me in and you said he was very unhappy with me, he said he had someone sit here and say something that I did something. After that, he told you he doesn't want me back. And I had no idea what that was. I never even had a chance to explain myself. I never had a chance to know what the issue was. Something happened. He thinks I said something. He brings someone to you and says, see. So he's always in this mind state of trying to point a finger at me. And that's not a conducive way to have an assistant principal and a teacher work. And he does it with other teachers. That's the way he is. It's his demeanor, not mine. You can go do a case study, ask all the teachers about my demeanor. They will tell you I'm jovial, that I'm caring, I smile. Come on, even in the meeting when Bradley said we're going to do testing, I blew my whistle, trying to make the place nice. I know what you've been through. I know about the wars. I never took part in it. I didn't want people to hate you.
I'll be honest, there were teachers around you that said that made comments like you said. They want us to be like robots and not have a relationship with kids.
What?
They want us to be like robots and not have a relationship with kids.
When did I say that? No, that's not what I said. See, I said, no, what I said was, I said, see, but that was totally said in jest. It had nothing to do with you, it had nothing to do with your ministry. I said, based on tech, I said, yeah, I said, but I didn't say it had anything to do with you. I said, the way education is going and technology is advancing with these smart boards, I said, they'll all replace us with robots. Not you replace us with robots. What are you going to do, bring a cyborg into? Come on, Dave, that's a joke. But you say, what I want to ask you is this. You're the king.
Haven't I always told you that?
Yeah, but here's the thing. You're the king of the hill, right? You're the king of the hill. No, you are. Listen. I'm very fond of you, Dave. I hope you believe that, and I hope you know, never cross you.
How are we going to solve this problem? It's a big problem.
It is a big problem. It's a big problem because he made it a big problem. I was going about my day by day. I wasn't caught. Did you hear anything about me causing waves, making trouble? I didn't do anything. Doing my job. There's 1 month to go. I'm out working. First of all, I'm working a full day. Then I go home and then I'm looking for other jobs. All right? I had the issue with I got a lot of stuff going on. He has no respect for anything that's going on with me. He doesn't understand the pressure of working a full day under an AP that's out to get you, and then you got to look for a new job. And I'm coaching the softball team too.
Because this is the thing. He said the heat provided. This is the way it works. The APs at the end of the year. I'm just going to get it. Thanks, Frank.
You're welcome, David.
I think it's not working for me. I feel I have a headache and I feel weak.
You think that?
I think there's something about
I
it.
think it's
Maybe, I don't know. Other people don't feel it. No one, I've been having everybody feel it, look at it.
everybody's sensitively different. Yeah.
Different, yeah.
Okay.
It's like from
Put it in
the,
the vault.
You have a speaker.
it looks like it was used on the Apollo 13
It
mission.
might be the speaker too, you know, I don't know.
I'll take the whole thing. You don't need to speak without the radio.
Yeah.
We'll put it together.
Sorry, Frank. Sorry, Frankie.
You're
Put
welcome.
it in the vault so it doesn't disappear.
Okay.
So this is the deal.
Right now, you know, it was just, I'm not, but the thing is, I didn't go to Latoya, I didn't do any, right now it's an argument. Keep him away from me. I'm doing my thing, Dave. If you don't believe in me, whatever. I know you believe in me. I know that you know I'm going to do the right thing. You know Doc, who came to see you, he's looking out for me. He's trying to get me jobs. I got people that care about me, that look out for me. I'm not out here trying to scumbag Dan. I would never do that. That's ridiculous. I'm not doing that. I'm not. You know, do I like the man? I have. I just it was rejected. Sometimes people look at your resume, they see gym teacher, and they just don't even want to see you. I'm just saying, I'm in a difficult position. I'm not trying to make any problems. I've always just wanted to be treated fairly. And it just seems that ever since he was promoted to my assistant principal, things all went downhill from there. Before, when we were friends, it was fine, but...
He said you changed for him.
No, he's the one who changed, and you know it, because he's the one that, I never... We were.
Excuse me, David, Mr. Albetta asked if he could put it in his office. He wants to...
Tell him it's got mold on it. If he wants it, then... Right?
The thing is, I'm going to be able to go in his office. Tell him I'm going to get it vacuum clean.
Okay, so where do you want me?
Put it in the vault, and I'm going to get it vacuum clean, put it in my office. And sterilized.
Okay. That's what I'm going to make sure.
Back to what you were saying. I don't feel that I've changed. I've always felt like I've done the right thing by the school, all right? I feel like I'm something that the school can be...
Sometimes you know what happens?
Someone gets power and they change.
Well, both people change. This has been my experience. Even, luckily, I was very lucky. When I became an assistant principal, I left my previous school.
I remember you told me that you
I
had a
remember I
bit.
had a friend named Marsha. She became an assistant principal.
Mm-hmm.
She came to me for 2 years. It's 11.
All right, I got 7 minutes and I got a class. Go on.
She changed a little for the first 2 years. She became more strict, more distant. And then, we sort of became friendly guys and things. You know, when I became assistant principal, people in my old building, someone would talk to me, be friendly with me, and then they stopped being friendly with me.
Because of your association?
Yeah, I don't know, they felt that I would tell things to their administration. And I wasn't even close to those people. My best friend said I had changed. And I think it's because my perspective in life changed for her. So she was probably right, but not against her. But it did annoy her for a while. And then, over the years, she accepted it. And we're still intimate friends. I mean, we see each other on a regular basis. Last summer, for almost 3 weeks, we went to Mexico together on my vacation.
You think?
You know,
I just don't think Dan
we're friends.
Dan
And so do I.
will
Because in
never...
the beginning, she was like, oh, you're the administration, you're that kid's to work with.
Can I ask you something? With your relationship, did she ever have you investigated?
No.
Did she ever go after your career? See, these are the things. Dan has never once apologized for these things. And he knows that these things were frivolous investigations. He knows it. And he never made that right with me. And that's not right. And I never retaliated.
See, you have that in your heart.
But here's the thing. But let me tell you why. Because he's got his friends, okay, that work in my department. And I'm not naming anybody, and I'm not saying anything bad, but for instance, when I was investigated in November with the injured girl, you remember that? Do you think that I'm the only coach that puts kids in, that put a kid in their car? Some of his very...
I've never heard of any of it.
well...
That was only incident.
There's others, but they don't, it's okay for them to do it because they're friendly with Dan. He lets them get away with that. So he plays this game...
Are you sure that he knows?
Yeah, he plays it...
How do you know?
He knows everything. He knows, they tell him everything.
But
Dennis,
No,
because you know why? I'm not a malicious person, David. I know what it feels like to be. He knows. And and you need to talk to him about,
who are they?
I don't want to start another investigation, but I will tell
I would have to.
that's why I'm not even going there. But we're having conversation. So he holds an incredible double standard with his people. In other words, do you think he would ever do to Mr. Hernandez or Mr. Mitru what he did to me today? Just answer yes or no.
But remember, he was closer to you in years.
That's fine, but do you think he would do that? Do you think he would?
Hey, look, I remember how close your relationship was.
Yeah. I looked at him like a father figure.
It was closer than what he is in the So for me, I can't answer that.
I looked at him like a father figure,
See,
but there was a time.
Already I feel better about it.
There was a time he came up to me. I remember the day, and this is when I'll tell you when everything changed. When it was after my investigation, I had asked him. I said, "What's this about? I've never been investigated. I was a kid. I was young. I didn't know anything about it. I was worried. I was scared out of my mind. I was going to lose my job, and I knew in my heart I didn't do anything wrong. So I said."
You know, the way it works, at the end of the year, the APs, you know, they submit the recommendation for end of year.
So you're going to U-rate me? I'm going to get U-rated?
This is, it's a process, it's a procedure. It's a form.
No, I know, listen.
And then they justify it.
I know.
They say, I have this, that.
Okay.
The probationaries, APs can go back 3 years.
Okay.
That's the five.
Yeah.
Observation.
Yeah.
Just even more than that.
I know that. Dave, you don't have to explain to me, but that's the problem. I knew that.
Right
I knew
now,
that as an untenured
he's
teacher.
feeling right now, he is. He came in here, asked, you guys say,
It's
I'm
such
not
a
making this
front.
up.
I know, it's a front.
He came in here, David was wrong. David and I were to go find him. We didn't know what that was wrong.
But you saw when I was the one frightened. When you came to me, I was frightened. He came to you.
My secretary, everybody was involved. He was like, oh my God, you know,
Listen, that's a complete front. It's a complete front, and that's part of, he's very manipulative. He's done things with other teachers. You know that. He did it with Stavrula when he told her to tell you that I harassed her, and we both knew that that wasn't true. He's tried to turn people against me. He's tried to ruin my reputation, and those are all things that factor in. And so if he's so scared of me, right? He's so scared of me, then that's why he's calling up and getting me investigated and trying to U-rate me. And if he's so scared of me, why would he come in and barge in on one of my lessons if I'm such a threat to him? He can easily just say, hey, I'm going to come in this period. Is that okay? And I'll say, sure, you're on the up and up now. You're being a gentleman. See, it's one thing to make a gentleman's deal. It's another thing to be a gentleman. And that, David, he is not. I'm sorry this is causing you concern. I don't know where to go. All I know is I stay out of his way.
right now, he is very good.
Well, I have a class and I don't want to be late. Is it okay? Can I go back and teach?
So I'm going to try to calm him down.
Can I go back and teach now?
I'm going to calm him down.
The open 75 is paper. The fallback piece, I can't find anything, and then I'm going to stick by my answer. Okay?
That's not what he said he followed.
Changes my Listen. All right, I'll What?